Welcome. Hello, everyone. Tonight we are meeting to share a moment of opening to a new year, 2024, a year that we hope will be marvelous, full of possibilities, and especially better than the previous year. Today, we're going to talk about alchemy and rituals. I am Ragno Lattuga, and I'm the coordinator of the Alchemy School in Damanhur, and I'm here to introduce you to this beautiful world, ancient world, which starts from the beginning of our history. Alchemy was born in the moment in which humankind found the first alliance, the first friend, the fire, discovering its full potentials and starting then to defeat the big fears, the darkness outside of ourselves, but also the darkness inside of ourselves. Fire was one of the biggest alliance because it allows us to get out of this cave, to defeat the night, to defend us from animals, right? To open up to the world in the same way in which throughout the years, throughout the history, the centuries, the humankind understood that this element was a dimensional portal. So in that moment, humankind learned to dialogue with this element. So from that moment on, the ritual was born. What is a ritual? A ritual is a sequence of gestures, words, knowledge that, in the same way technology does, by repeating them, they bring a result. That's why we talk about rituals in alchemy. That is a language that allows us to communicate and make things happen. This is the most beautiful and most important thing we should talk about in all around the world. We talk about rituals, ceremonies, and so on. We need to learn, though, to manage them in the right way. By doing so, then we can actually hold the keys of the laws that govern that rule the world in which we are, because we are used to manage to live in the material world. This material world is based on the concept of physics, of the physical laws, right? So cause effect. But when we are talking about rituals, when we're talking about magic, alchemy, we are using higher laws, superior laws that are above the physical ones. We're talking about the laws of the spirits, those that ancient alchemists would describe as hermetic laws. The similar respond to the similar, the thought creates, as above, so below. These are laws that today have been explained after thousands of years. They're being explained with quantum physics entanglement. The fact that if we take two cells, similar cells, one located where I am and another one located on the other end of the world, if we act on one cell, the other cell will respond to that. So here we already start understanding how laws work, the magical laws, the synchronicity. In fact, the most important thing, the first law, the first important law, so that allow us to live a beautiful life, is understanding synchronicity. Synchronicity is that law that allows us to evolve, to grow, that law that connects all the events, all people, individuals, everything which exists. It's a flow that leads towards evolution of our species and the entire world, obviously. Why should we talk about this today? Why shouldn't we alchemy, shouldn't we leave it back to the Middle Age? Well, Because alchemy is the perfect science. Still today, is that silence, supreme silence that teaches to the humankind how to evolve, how to grow, but most of all, how it is done. We learn how to drive a car by going to school, right? Taking many lessons, and we practice. So then we drive the car, which can take us from one point to another, but nobody ever explained us. Nobody ever taught us how to drive, how to guide ourselves. The most important thing of this universe, ourselves, because we are the measurement of the universe. Everything was created after our image. Everything that exists is an expression of what we are. Our our sight though was always used to look at outside, imagining that the external world is everything, the maximum expansion, but that is not true. Luckily, in other moments of history, in other civilizations, actually the attention was first of all towards the internal, because they understood the fundamental thing, which is that what we perceive outside is an image of what we contain within. So now I'm giving you some parts of the paintings so that then we can experiment, we can experience together the language of rituals. Alchemy, as it was defined by Falco Tarasco, the founder of Damanhur, the founder of this big federation of community, which was born as a center where we could develop, we could grow as souls. He would define alchemy as a Swiss knife, a series of sciences that if we use them in the right moment, we can use them for certain specific actions. So, for example, first of all, we have to understand how we are made, what we're made of, the elements that create the humankind. And we start from the classic elements of alchemy, right? So the fire, earth, air, the ether, water. These elements are the basic, the bricks that make us, the bricks that creates the entire world around us. By knowing these elements, by creating an order, thanks to the ritual language, what can we get? What can we obtain? Well, we can obtain the fact that we are much more influential in the in regards with everything that happens, because we are like magnets, maybe smaller or bigger, but the bigger magnet, of course, can influence smaller magnets. This is a very simple law, but that's how it works. How can we do it so that our magnet is so big so that it's not influenced by everything that it's around, but actually it can influence, it can have a charisma so that things happen? Well, by doing so that the energetic flow that goes through each one of us, well, that should be clean, that can be clean, that can activate all the different energetical parts of us. So obviously we all heard talking about the chakras, right? These points of energies that we have. Yes, of course, these are part of our energetic body. But imagine, as we said, as above, so below. So in the same way, in the physical body, we have a structure made of veins, arteries, where the blood flows and all our liquids so that this body can work. Well, in our energetical body, we have an energetical flow. In the same way, we have organs, lungs, liver, heart. So the chakras, what in Damanhur we call the Adonaiba, these are the energetical center which transform energy from a unit, from a one energy into different functions that we need, feelings, emotions, sexual energies, and so on. What happens is that these energetical flows, these centers of transformation of energies, in the same way the same way our body does, if we don't get nourishment, if we don't live life in a certain way, well, actually they can get sick. So if the physical body gets sick with stress or bad nutrition or pollution and so on, the energetical body, well, it happens a similar thing, but actually it's when we live badly our emotions, when we live badly our feelings, when we live badly, or when we have some sudden burst of emotions, all of this creates an unbalance within within ourselves, so that our energetical battery, our flows, our energetical organs, from being 100%, they reduce. Why does this happen? Well, simple. This happens because there is a respondence between what we do and what we are. So we have to learn to manage ourselves so that our life can be virtuous. Our life can be good for all our bodies, because our energetical body is not, our alchemical body is made by the physical body, the energetical body, the emotional body, our aura, our mind, our animic and spiritual body, astral body, and so on. We are like an onion with many, many layers, and each one of them will influence another. Like in a beautiful basket of fruit, if there is one fruit which is bad, then this will make also all the other fruit bad. So we have to have healthy fruit. So our energetical flow should be good, so we can feel good as a whole. And one energetical flow will actually heal another one. This is how we approach to life. And this, first of all, goes through our choice. Choice is one of the fundamental topics in alchemy, learning how to choose, learning how to choose our lives, direct our life, not to get certain results, but it's through synchronicity. Make ourselves vibrate so that we can manifest the world that we desire. And then we have many different areas of alchemy in order to do so. But first of all, we need to learn the language of rituals. Language of rituals, we started with fire. That was the beginning. And for many years, thousands of years, many forms of rituals were born in our societies, from the simplest ones to the more complex ones, until we created religions, spiritual paths, schools, esoteric, magical schools, where the most refined souls would learn to grow and get to even higher levels. And there we could find big souls, what we call avatars, the Buddha, the illuminated masters, spiritual masters, and so on. These are all people like us who had some experiences in their lives, but they grew in their evolutions quite fast, and they reached the center of their soul, because that is the goal. That the goal is to touch and get in touch with our spiritual spark, with our individual power. To do all of this, reorder our parts, generate inner harmony, touch our spirit, reconnecting with our spiritual parts, well, we need technique. This doesn't happen by chance. Like when we want to watch TV, we want to use a computer, cell phone, we can't just touch things by chance and things happen, right? If we want to make it work, if we want to make that device work, that function work, we need to know what we are doing. The same thing happens for ourselves. We have to know some techniques which will lead to results that we can repeat, like science demonstrates. Alchemy is an exact science, but a science that involves the whole humankind, and its focus is humankind. Because of this, I will talk and we will experiment together one aspect about personal rituality, because that is what we're going to touch. In alchemy, we will learn to manage our personal rituals so that we can manage ourselves at best, so that we can bring order, we can get to know our feminine and masculine parts, we can touch our divine spiritual part, we can get inspired by it, and we can become a channel so that we can manifest with the divine power that we all have. We can manifest the world that we want. This is possible through an alchemical and ritual path, not by chance. Remember this. This is important. It doesn't happen by chance. Rituals are so important because they are rhythms. Our world has its rhythm, which is connected to seasons. Equinox, solstice, those are moments that establish this rhythm of the year based on the different seasons. So these, in those specific moments, we do big rituals so that we create symphony between the humankind and the world in which we live. This is the first function of celebrating solstice and equinox. It's about creating this intimate harmony between humankind and the external world and all the forces that inhabit it, both the physical and subtle forces, until we get to the divine part of it. This is the fundamental principle of ritual. So imagine the most important ritual which takes place in this world is the ritual of the solstice. This ritual is accomplished, is done constantly, and it's been done like this for more than 5,000 years without being interrupted. This is very important because it gives us very important information. The ritual is one, which is done, replicated in different moments. Solstice is celebrated in December and June every year. It's like beats of the same ritual our race, the humankind, does. So every time, for example, we participate into a moment like this, we connect to the whole experience of everything that was and everything that will be. In alchemy, also, it's beautiful, the concept of time. Time is not linear. Time is a sphere that can be navigated in all directions if you know the mechanisms. Let's talk about personal rituals, those that will guide our lives. We are a race that lives, is based on rhythms. We wake up in the morning, we go to work, we eat, we get to the evening, and we go back to sleep. And during the day, we have a series of rhythms that repeat, and they're more or less the same ones. They can be a little bit different, but usually we divide our weeks in days, our days in hours, and so on, months, and so on, so to have rhythms. These rhythms were chosen by others, other people who establish some rhythms so that our race can have a continuity, a growth, and so on. If instead we look at ourselves, we can create our own rhythms, our personal rituals to obtain those objectives, to reach those goals that we choose to reach. And to do so, as we said, we need a spiritual order. What does it mean? We need to direct energetically our day, our week, our life in the direction in which we want to go, in which we choose. Because otherwise, for the majority of our time, we don't live our life. We react to our lives. Things happen because things move around us, and we react to those things. By doing so, we delegate our power to the external world. An alchemy, a path in alchemy, the fundamental part in this path is to regain this power and bring it back to our center. By doing so, we become the owners of our power. We become responsible for what happens to us completely. From one end, there is power. From the other end, there is responsibility. Important to know them. Now, let's talk about how to live a day in an alchemical way. These are some suggestions, some ideas, tips to live our day in a more impactful way so that our life can respond to our desires. First of all, remember, we need one thing, very important thing, which is energy. Energy is that fundamental thing, like a car. If there's no fuel in it, it cannot move. Could be a small car, it could be a big car, fast car. But anyway, without fuel, it will never move. First. Second, knowledge. We need to know how to to drive the car, right? In order to go where we want to go. Otherwise, we will get an accident. Third thing is the will. As I said before, the choice. The will is our directed attention. If we unite together these three factors, then we get magic. We need to have them clear though. Energy, knowledge, and will. To express magic in our daily life, we have to start from the morning. So when we wake up, the first thing we do is take energy to then, have it available for the day. And how do we get energy? Physically, we have breakfast, right? We eat food, that's fine. But if we want to activate all the energetical, spiritual parts that make the difference, that allow us to be that magnet, strong magnet, which will influence the whole surrounding, well, then we will use breathing, energetical breathing. What is it? I will teach it now. We would try this together. But simply, it's linked to the fact that all societies, spiritual paths, everything starts from breathing. Why is it so important? Well, we can spend a month without eating, days without drinking, but after a few minutes without breathing, we die. So you see how important that is for us. Is the first way of connecting us with the world. Is the way we attract within us the oxygen that will nourish our cells through the blood, but it brings also air as the alchemical element, the vital energy, what we call the prana energy. Energy. And what about knowledge? We say the thought creates. This is a fundamental law. So if we send a certain frequency with a certain energy, we will send a signal to the world. And today, let me clarify certain things. The fact that we attract to us everything that we want, the law of attraction that became very famous, those are law of children, right? So if I concentrate on something, I will attract it to me and the world respond and I will get it. This can happen, yes. But this is, as I said, from a spiritual point of view, this is the basic. But if we get to the center of ourselves, where we find our divine part, the divinity creates the world, it generates, it manifests. So I will bring a very ancient concept here. Our race doesn't need to attract anything. Our race has the ability, the possibility to manifest the world that we desire. And here we see how. We will experiment this. Finally, the will. Will means the attention that, so if we want to get to a goal, to an objective, if we want to move from one city to another and travel for a few hours, we need to bring the attention to the road that we are on, right? Because let's imagine now I will start driving to Rome. I will leave and then I will look around and I will notice, oh, there's a beautiful road here. I will go there. I will turn here, I will turn there. Then what does this mean? It means that I will visit and see many places, but I will never get to the final destination, which I chose. So this is the wheel I'm talking about, the constant attention, continuous attention. So if we focus, let's go back to the fire. If we focus on one objective, we will activate the first alchemical act, the attention, the alchemical fire that activates everything, every aspect of our nature. If there is the attention, if there is the directed will, we know what we're doing, we know where we want to go and how, then we will, and we have the energy, then that thing will happen. But as like everything, a balloon, in order to be big enough, we need to flow in it constantly and it will manifest. This is what we can do. Why did I mention the morning? Because there are two fundamental moments in our day. The one is the beginning and that is the end. The morning when we wake up is a moment in which we can program ourselves. This is another fundamental part, getting to know it. We can program ourselves. If we know that, we can see what programs we have and choose the ones that we want, that we interested in, and maybe cancel those programs that we don't need, that maybe some other people inserted into us. Another moment is the blue light, the night, the evening, that moment where from the day we get to to the night, yeah? That is a very special moment. These are two moments in which we can give a direction to our lives. What to do? Well, let's do this together. We're going to do a small meditation now to direct our day or our evening, our dreams, everything that we want to get to a result, to obtain results. So we'll do an energetical breathing. I will guide you to that point where we meet, where our human part meets our divine part. And then from there, we can create. What to create? Whatever you want. We have our own dreams, our desires, and our own mission, soul mission, that we will discover. The moment we discover the mission of our soul, well, that is the point of greatest happiness, because we will be coherent with ourselves. We will be one with what we are and what we manifest. That is the accomplishment of what we are, the part of the puzzle that finds its part in the world that is surrounding us. And if the world is not ordered, it will start being so, because we are in the right place. So we will attract close to us other forces, other people, other energies, which will be the same. So we will create an energetical, positive environment that will make our existence and the one of those people around us much better. This is what we want to learn how to do, what we will do. Now we'll do it in a very simple way, creating some basics, some fundamentals that are linked to the universal laws, as we said before. In the path, along the path of the Alchemy School, for those who will want to continue and start this with us and the other instructors, then you will learn much more refined techniques, gaining tools that can really help you manifest what you want and getting to know yourselves much deeper. But let's always remind ourselves, this is what I always repeat to our students, we all are the principal instrument to create and manifest whatever we want. Everything else is a help, is additional. Things that are extremely important, but the fundamental part is us. With this premises, let's do a first journey, a first experience together. I ask you to breathe, to start breathing deeply and slowly. You inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Slowly and deeply. You simply sit down with your hands touching your knees, your feet touching the ground, and don't cross nor your legs nor your arms, because we activate a circuit so that the energy can flow freely in the best way. Start breathing deeply and slowly. You inhale through the nose and you exhale through the mouth. You close your eyes to bring your attention within yourself. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Breath after breath, you release all the tensions. If you need, you can stretch a little bit your back, your shoulder, your head, so that you can feel comfortable, your body can feel comfortable. Don't forget to breathe. Keep breathing, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Breath after breath, you bring your presence, your attention to your center. That central point, luminous point within yourself, with your attention, with your presence, you bring nourishment and energy. Like a small fire which grows, illuminates within everything that exists. It illuminates it with our own color, beautiful frequency. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And breath after breath, this fire shines and illuminates our whole body, our whole vital aura. Breath after breath, this fire, nourished by us, expands like a small sun, which from within us spreads light, spreads life, connection. Breath after breath, this light, colorful, luminous light, fulfills the whole room in which we are, the whole place in which we are now. And breath after breath, we go even beyond, illuminating the whole city, the place where we are now. Like a small sun, we are illuminating the whole territory, houses, street, rivers, the whole territory around us illuminates itself with our color, with our frequency. And breath after breath, it grows even more, touching all the continents of our world, illuminating like the sun illuminates all the planets. We do it from our center. We are the sun. We are the sun of everything. And breath after breath, the whole world is colored with our frequency, with our color, luminous, harmonious, serene. This is what we transmit, we transfer to the whole world and even beyond, even the moon. The moon is illuminated by our light and all the planets of our solar system. Breath after breath, we expand in all directions. A luminous sound, a luminous sun which illuminates everything. Breath after breath, we now touch all the planets: Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, all the planets until we get to our sun. This light, incredible light, which gives us life and energy every day. And our light is mixed with the one of the sun. And breath after breath, we find within the fire a point which is even more luminous, even more beautiful. And we bring our attention and our presence there, as if we were opening a door, a passage, an entrance. And by going through that, we find ourselves in a familiar place, which we know, or anyway that we feel as part of us. And breath after breath in this place, which can be a house, a beach, or a mountain, a place that will be your place, the best place for yourself. And breath after breath, in the center of this place, there is a chair, a, a, a chair or a place wherever you want to sit down. And when we do so, we feel that we are in that point where our human part unites with our divine one. And breath after breath, we feel the union, the power of this nature, of our nature. And from here, we can ask ourselves, what do I want to live in this life? What do I want to manifest? What is my deep desire in this moment? And breath after breath, we feel this desire manifesting itself. We see it. We can live it. We are the center, and all around us, everything else. And again, breath after breath. We feel the pleasure of living and manifesting a dream, a desire, a spiritual direction by experiencing it now. With our human and spiritual and divine part as one, we are now ready. We are now ready to express this ray of light. We are the manifestation of our divine part. And when these parts are balanced, breath after breath, we find harmony, we find the strength and energy and everything that we have available to manifest the world that we choose, that we want to live. We feel that fully. We feel the emotion that we are experiencing right now, this vitality, because it's like a gift, a frequency. And now, aware, conscious of this, while breathing, we return back to that luminous point in the sun, full and strong with this awareness. And breath after breath, like the light, we go back to the same path, touching all the planets Uranus, Pluto, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Venus, until we get to our satellite, the moon, our planet, the earth, the oceans, the forest, all the animals of the sky, of the sea, of the earth, all the men, all the cities, all the continents, illuminated and nourished by our color, our light. And breath after breath, we go back to our place wherever we are. In the place, in the room, colored with our light until we get to our physical body. Breath after breath. We come back here now, moving our body slowly, our hands, our head, our whole body. And we feel the strong presence of this color, this light, this manifestation that we touched. And the awareness that we are the tip of the pencil that will write this dream in the reality around us. And breath after breath, whenever you desire, you can open your eyes. Here we are again. This is a journey, spiritual journey, that activates our potentials, our characteristics with what we are. We will learn how to manage this even better. We will learn how to create and manifest every aspect of our lives, transforming our life, both the future and present, but also the past, because we are like clay that can be worked. We just need to know what are the right techniques, what is the knowledge that we need and the energies that we have to use. That's why I invite you to take your life in your hands day after day and manifest. Leave your principle, what you are, which is the only way, the beautiful way to find happiness. And by doing so, step by step, we will walk the way, the way of the spiritual evolution, which is not only when we die or in other dimensions, but it's the spirit is here. The spirit is what inhabits this body. The body is the dress. The spirit is the life, the vitality which is within. This is my invitation. If, as I do, as if you feel you have the desire, the will, the desire of getting to know your potentials, your senses, then, well, this is the right moment to start this journey together. You're all invited. Write to us, send us questions so that we can get in touch and start this path together. I thank you for having joined tonight. I am happy that there have been many people, and I wish you all a good continuation. And I really wish you to manifest the life that you want. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Convoy.